Let's learn about the plasma membrane. The plasma membrane is an essential part of a cell. That means that every cell has to have a membrane. The structure of a membrane is made of a phospholipid bilayer embedded with proteins. You can see in our diagram the two layers of phospholipids as well as the proteins in the membrane, which are purple. Now, the function of a plasma membrane is to regulate what substances enter and leave the cell. The phospholipid bilayer and these proteins will help regulate these substances. Here's what a phospholipid looks like. The head of a phospholipid is hydrophilic because it's polar. The head is polar because it has a phosphate group which has a lot of oxygen. And we don't need to go very far into this, but just understand when you see oxygen, it's most likely going to make that part of the molecule polar or hydrophilic. The two fatty acid tails at the bottom here are hydrophobic because they're nonpolar. Again, we don't need to go into a lot of detail here, but these tails are nonpolar because they don't have any oxygen and are just composed of hydrogens and carbons. Now, the membrane proteins embedded in this phospholipid bilayer will have many different functions. And like we said before, they help regulate what enters and leaves the cell. But they can also have a lot of different functions, such as being an enzyme, being receptors, being anchors for other cells to attach to. These membrane proteins have tons of different functions. But these membrane proteins, along with the phospholipid bilayer, will make up the plasma membrane.